Hi there. So part of me wants to save my energy till I get viewers. Sometimes it doesn't take very long, but I also don't want to make people see this after. It's almost 11 at night. I'm pretty tired. Thoughts of making videos and just anticipations. So one thing I'll address is the wanting to go downstairs, and he's been sleeping quite a bit tonight. But go downstairs and see the dog. But I wanted to address a couple of things first, and this is my outlet right now. Was it miss and the live feature might not be remembered, so this is the place. But I do kind of want to wait till we get viewers, and I feel like I'm really close up. And I guess I am. And when I actually got up from bed just now, I felt slightly winded, or not winded, like I had to gasp for air. And Yeah, part of me wants to work on making up that song, but I really don't have that kind of energy, and I don't know. I did get an interesting writing idea, whether it's just for myself to share on here, or you know, um, to publish, if that's ever something I'm meant to be. I don't know, something it is really meant for me in a lot of ways, but then I know what I enjoy about it too, and what does mostly work nicely. Sorry that the lighting's so. I prefer this chair, and I guess it's different than in the daytime. I don't know if turning off that one in the hall might make it different. I'm used to doing these during the daytime, even with those big plants in the window where there's light coming in, and it's interesting how that might. Yeah, it's still not great. I'll move closer again when we get viewers. I can kind of see that along the top, although there's a lot of light in that area. But at the same time, it is getting close to, and we're pretty consistent. We're getting close to the usual bedtime. I kind of just want to say the stuff and then go down. But let me just say, I'm using the inspiration of, I can't even say her name because I don't remember it or I didn't catch it. But I was watching the Rosa video, and there's a lady that she's the one that wrote The Color Purple, and ironically, and something about Father's Smile or whatever, and just the way that they talked about it, most of the stuff, but the way that it was talked about really inspired me, and I think could be, especially one thing that was said, I think could be quite healing to try and do. So I should have time over the weekend. I'm not really sure how I want to approach that song idea that I came up with earlier. Other than I wouldn't mind doing some vocal dubbing, possibly some that's just a cappella. And I know the general theme. I was actually YouTube as I was spiritual sometime more, and suddenly I'm seeing a picture of his naked side with his beautiful moves that he's so lucky to have. His arm, and that's by the great chair. Hope you'll be playing piano soon. But I remained calm. I know this is your channel. I remained calm, even though I didn't entirely feel it about something. Basically, no, I don't really want to see my emails. I'm already overrun by them at the moment. Yeah, well, I will learn that things aren't necessarily easy for us, which is why this hasn't precipitated sooner, because you may have been expecting it to by now. Um, but I just wanted to quickly say I'm gonna feel like looking angelic for now. I don't think you'll be able to hear the piano super strong, but that's something I haven't looked back on videos where, just few, where it's playing piano downstairs and how it's heard upstairs. I've actually been in a video call with somebody, it was a while ago, and I think I asked, but I don't know if we actually answered it. But our dog, I mean, people could say this about dogs, and it's not untrue. But our dog is really healing to cuddle and hold, and he's so good at almost always at letting it. Sometimes he gets a little bit excitable, a little touchy, but he still, would never harm. So, if you want to see more of me and in better lighting, not that the room is not bright, but there's something that's making this area right beside me really bright and my face kind of half bright. It's ironic. I was thinking of singing a song from a musical and I'm feeling like Phantom of the Opera. But yeah, if you want to see more of me, I would love it. And you're welcome to watch my other videos and comment them. But I just wanted to share something. I guess I get real with something here, but not that I'm not otherwise. I was saying something about how, we're not rich, but we can afford to spend some money on the bike because it's just money and rather you be alive. I kept it in that I'm ambivalent and how I don't feel like it's just money and we have only one income right now. As far as the brakes on my bike, I don't ride bikes often. 6 months out of our year, locally, it's a bike season. But I pretty habitually use my feet. I put my feet out to stop. Even if I have brakes. It's just, it was ingrained in me and it's just always been the way. I mean, I know a lot of kids do that, I'm pretty sure, but we're talking about, talking about the powder. Yeah, I know a lot of kids do that, but I I'm still a kid at heart in some ways. But yeah, but also so I think the doctor's confused. But I guess it gets trained out of them easier, and then if they're more frequently riding bikes. But I guess what it is, I go into default. So, man, I've covered a lot in just about 8 minutes. Sometimes you can. I guess sometimes I'm having other distractions. I'm feeling slower. I am feeling slow though, so it's amazing I've gotten this much in. But I am. I'm pretty tired. It took a lot of energy, although also I felt a lot of ease with most of it, and it spoke to my talent and ability. But it took a lot of energy out of me. The podcast I did earlier today, and they actually got quite a few views, a couple of them. And Dear the Lizard isn't necessarily a lot, but for this channel, it's not really bragging. I don't know what the case is, but for this channel, it is. But this channel used to do quite good, so it's just how it's hitting lately, I guess. But yeah, the ambivalency and also the desire to do something if we can do it ourselves and save a bit of money. And I guess I kind of been thinking about it the past few days, but kind of not. But it's kind of like now that Saturday's approaching, and I have this time to do so. They also haven't emailed back all day, but they get pretty busy. Maybe I was confusing in my email. Point of the matter is that, but yeah, I mean, these oxytocin, this and that. I mean, it really is a healing Dr. Kettle. It doesn't mind if you kind of wake him up and all that. But I've had other dogs in my life. This is the first one I've owned. Well, we both own it, but that didn't. He often says he grew up with dogs, but they were his parents' dogs. I've never got the concept, but when I sit and think about it for a moment, when I was a kid, sure, it was my dog, but it was. I don't know this one. It's it's more mine, and I'm around it a lot more. I mean, I'm not as busy as I used to be back then. I guess that's what it is. I'm around him more rather. But I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm looking forward to some things, as well as some relaxation, but some things. And yeah, I don't. I want. I was always gonna say if only people knew. Not, I've not actually seen anybody show up at the top yet, and that's kind of rare too. I haven't been constantly looking, but pretty constantly. But if I knew exactly how long this would be, I could say. But then again, people would have to be here to hear me saying it. And part of me thinks some people love watching video. I mean, they'll watch a video on YouTube like a movie, or they'll just they'll get really into it and watch it for a good while. I think one of mine earlier, somebody, I don't always feel the statistics are right, but when I looked at them, they did seem to be in this case. I think one person was watching for 7 minutes, and another one I think it went 15. So, but I do really appreciate if you give your patience, curiosity, and some time to watching some of my videos and commenting on them. It means a lot to me. Uh, and sorry again, I'm not in great lighting. Maybe you're closing your eyes as you listen to this. Maybe you're not. Maybe you should. I'm just kidding. It's just, yeah, I don't want to have. I mean, I guess I can have the heat pad. So I guess if I get a sore back from sitting in this chair, this seat without a back, then it's okay. And the row is at the bottom of this screen, so. But yeah, the ambivalence comes from where it feels like I'm not necessarily reaching where I'd like. And everything's a wait. And even the things I know are coming up are a wait, and they're kind of uncertain. And it's just very stressful. And that's all I want to do is sleep sometimes. I mean, so help me feel some love, and I try and do the same. And this is not, you flipped it over for some reason. And yeah, it's yeah. I could have done this before I even get to 13. That's next. If I can get to 15, that's probably good, I guess. The symptoms that I sometimes go through, I'm not feeling too strongly at the moment. A little bit of kind of mild burning sensation in my lower leg, or kind of like and sore feet a little bit. But again, the sore feet that I experience is usually what feels like just somebody constantly kind of applying some pressure. Even when I have them up, when I have them down, whatever. Also don't think it's great to sit on your feet or on your legs. I saw somebody. In fact, it was interesting. I didn't watch it hugely. I had a hard time hearing him, but I believe it was Gabor Mate that you marked, and he was sitting cross-legged on a chair. But the guy he was interviewing was just sitting on one of it, or was talking to, was sitting on one of his legs, and he was younger. I was surprised to see him sit like that, but I guess he could be considered a yogi, so I don't know. But I have a bit of a sore stomach. Past, well, kind of after I got started with this, a little after this. But I think it's just, yeah, I've not necessarily been sitting in the most comfortable positions. But the only other thing I could think of to say, and as far as like conversation idea for this video, aside from song and topic suggestions, would be if you want to share, people, you can share a lot sometimes without being super personal. Like you can't say names or whatever. But if you want to share what your plans are for the weekend, it'd be cool. It's like welcome to your world, and I welcome you into mine. The strangers. But again, if you put it certain ways, it should make a difference. Could also inspire. I don't know what Sunday's weather is going to be like and how tired we'll be from Saturday, but we'll get a good sleep probably, and then we might need ideas for Sunday. But this song project I'm going to work on, and feel free to check out the really well, yeah, maybe that video could inspire it more than I realize. And it showed back to me a few times, but I just haven't clicked into it. But feel free to check it out and see where you think maybe I push and pull, because the word push is in the title. See if you can find somewhere in it where you think maybe or find things that are mentioned. This is why you're active listening. The past most recent videos that maybe could go into the song that was mentioned also in the comments. I put a comment. There was a comment that came in live that didn't appear, and I think I did that same setting here, but I'll probably wrap up before anything comes in at this point. But yeah, feel free to check it out and say, aside from anything else you want to say you should include something about this spot, or you can say the exact mention, or you can, if it's easier, it probably would be. I don't mind to say, nobody's watching right now, but to say this timestamp to this timestamp, or starting from this timestamp, or utilize some of that stuff. I'll try and look myself, but can't guarantee that when I put it out there. That music one with popular titles, but I'll try and now this one's going to short with the it's a bit shorter too. I'll try and look myself as well and see, but I totally don't mind it being a combined collaborative effort. So, but right tonight I'm just too tired. I did like 3 videos I think today, maybe even 4, and some of them are quite long. And I don't know, it's just the days kind of went slow, and it's close to bedtime. And I think the energy I'm putting towards thinking about some things that I know that I have upcoming are slightly tiring me out, but also exciting me. So, anywho, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm surprised. This is. I will say this is rare, and in a way, it makes me feel good and gives me the perspective that. Well, I can't say too much about the times when somebody is just there for like a few seconds or even a minute or two, and then they go. I mean, and this feels like deja vu. Like that may or may not be personal, but it's kind of silly. But as far as people that come for at least a few minutes or come and quickly give a like or whatever, like there's been no activity along the top unless it was near the beginning when I briefly looked away from the screen. No activity. And YouTube goes to people around the world. Some people gotta be up going into their Saturday or whatever. Come on, that's better than Saturday morning cartoons, isn't it? But somebody said something about talking to mental health, as if you're a cartoon character. They said, and then they joked that it wouldn't work, but maybe it would. Kind of make it a little bit more bearable and durable, and a bit more you tolerate, because you kind of, well, it's good to take it seriously, but you're also kind of being a little silly about it. I don't know. But no, I mean, so I'm realizing that I'd almost prefer, although I'd prefer if they stayed for longer and commented, and sometimes they do, but it's kind of like I'd almost prefer that over this nothingness. And it's ironic. It's, well, it wasn't the first time I said it in the past few minutes. As soon as I say it, somebody tunes in. He did just stop playing piano. It's a Friday, but it's just after 11. And that's usually okay. The viewer left, so I'm not going to say anymore. That's okay. They really didn't want to go much longer anyway. I got my way.